We're on. Woohoo! We made it.
Yay!
In spite of
Oh,
the best efforts of our collective machines, we made it. All right.
thank you, Apple.
All right. It's been a while, but welcome to Smartphone Photography number 6. I've been negligent in having my little get togethers like this. What are you doing? Oh, go away. And there's been a lot going on over here between hunting for a new job and
Ooh.
the holidays and everything that goes along with that. I've been a bit distracted. So, but I'm back, and I've got Michael King with me, and Joey may show up. He checked in long enough to tell me he was going to have to get back home and find a place with some light, and hopefully his smiling face will grace our presence. But be that as it may, we'll just kick it off and let's see what's going on. Now, before the show, Mike and I were talking about his new Apple Watch, and I'd really like him to give us a snapshot repeat of what he was telling me, because it sounds really impressive how well this watch is working now compared to the first version. Why don't you go ahead, Mike?
Okay. Well, one, let's give you the old watch, the
Version
series
1, right?
zero. They call it series zero because they updated the series zero to series one that gives you the um, CPU. But okay, I I'll get up at 8:30 and put my watch on because I keep one that I always sleep with because I use it for my sleep tracking because my doctor wants me to keep up with that. Uh, I'll put it on, and then I do it like an hour to a 2 hour heavy workout using the heart rate monitor running all the time. Generally by 5:30, sometimes 8 o'clock if I'm lucky, I have to put the watch on the charge. All right, series two. Oh, let's go back to the other startup. I can turn it on and the Apple. I just wait and wait and wait. It takes about 2 minutes to boot up. Series two. The first thing I noticed when I booted it up, it took about the same times, about the same length as an iPhone to boot up, which is not very long. And I noticed right off the bat, launching apps are 100 times faster. And I said, okay. And of course, uh, this part, see if you can hear it. That's the spit part. That's what blows the water out of the speakers.
The spit.
And it does. It does. I watch it and it does.
It's like having a camel. They spit. At
Right.
least that's what they
But
said in the movie Aladdin.
but the big part is okay. Now I get up at 8:30, put my watch on, and next thing I know, I take my hour, sometimes 2 hour working out, and I always have the heart rate monitor on. Right now, Houston time, it's 8:30. So it's been on since 8:30 this morning. I'm now at 51% battery. Before I had to have this thing on charge. And I could probably, and this will be fine until 10 o'clock.
That's impressive, because I remember battery life was always the bugaboo on the first
Right.
gen watch. And
And
truthfully, that was the reason why I never bought one, because it wouldn't last all day.
right. Okay. Now this one is I have my gold one on charge right now because I've been using it at night because I've been walking around here and I don't want to walk around with a 10 grand watch on my arm. I will wear it to work, and I'm on vacation this week because I always take the week after Thanksgiving to go get all my Christmas shopping done, which I have done. So, but that one also, they were able to put the Series 2 guts into it. So I have the same. They're just saying it's not quite as waterproof because because of, it's just a scotch bit thinner. They couldn't put all the glue in there to really seal it. So it's not, it's more it's just even more water resistant than the first one, but I wouldn't go swimming or bathing with it.
Well, I guess the question is, it's sweat resistant. I mean,
Yes. Oh,
I
yes.
mean,
It's very
you
much
know,
sweat resistant.
yeah, the
And
original, take it in the shower and not worry about it type thing.
right. And that's fine. You can, I can do that. They say I can, they said you can't go 50 meters, but said,
I
you might
can't go
go,
50 meters.
right. That's what this is rated for, 50 meters. And said that one, you might go 10 meters or so. So, in other words, if you go just taking a quick swim up and down, you're not going into the deep end, you're fine. Or you're taking a bath or something like that, you're fine. Just that it won't be as water resistant as the an actual series two. The other, all right, my gold one, the rose gold, the real one, the
Yeah,
edition, it has the sapphire screen. They did put the sapphire screen on it, so it has the guts of the white edition in there, or the stainless, either one of those. Go outside, bright light. Before the series zero, you can just barely see the face. Go out now, the face is 10 times brighter.
that's
And
cool.
the
Especially in states like Southern California, where all we have is sun.
right. And the and of course this does have GPS. And when I go walking, I go without my I go without my phone. And I don't know if you can
It'll
see
track it.
that.
Oh, sweet. I like that.
And that's without my phone. That's just the watch.
Nice.
So is it's what the series zero should have been. I like it. I imagine it's going to get better. I I've had a little on and off issues with the original, but I am so happy with this that anyone asked me, said, "Yeah, go ahead and get it." Just now, if you don't want to pay the price, the series one is the. Oh, I didn't say Siri. I said, "I'm sorry." The the series one has the CPU of the new watch, but doesn't have the GPS. Is not water resistant or waterproof, and it doesn't have the better battery, but it is a lot faster.
Well, honestly, in my case, I'm looking at the Nike edition because of
Mm-hmm.
the running and everything I do. And so I've got right now, I don't know if you can see it, but I've got, the Garmin,
Mm-hmm.
which it's good. It's got a GPS, it's got the clock, doesn't do anything else other than track heart rate and running effort and all that. But the replacement for this particular Garmin
Mm-hmm.
is almost $300. And if I'm
Right.
spending that much money on this, I'm seriously considering the Apple
Now,
Watch instead.
now, also the if you get the aluminum case,
Yeah.
uh, uh, before it was the Sport. This one they just call the Apple Watch, and just like this is the aluminum one. The
Okay.
back has the ceramic backs of the edition, and the
Cool.
higher end. It's the other one. It's easy to scratch, and sometimes it will get it's easier to damage. This one is just like the originals, and I mean I like the ceramic back.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Well, that's really interesting notes on the watch. I mean, I think at this point I could seriously consider buying one and justifying it based on. I mean, I paid 250 for my Garmin a year and a half ago. I've had to replace the band once already at $20 for the damn band because it's a non-standard part. And if when the watch needs to be replaced, it's going to be 300 for the next gen. And I'm not spending that for a single-purpose watch. I'm sorry.
Right,
I'll look at the Apple.
right. Because see, now this is the leather loop that I'm wearing,
Yeah,
but
but you can. I've seen stainless and I've seen plastic.
yeah, this is the leather loop, but this is a third party leather loop that was
Leather
about
loop.
it was about $20.
Can't beat that.
And now my most expensive one, I do have a rose gold link bracelet, and it was 99 bucks.
Yeah, I've
I
seen
have
the
it,
stainless link.
and it's not. They're nice. And I have another. I'm not wearing it now, but I have another. It's another band that's about $36. That is the exact same color rose gold as the watch, and even the what gets me, even the edition, the original edition, the rose gold. Apple has a different idea what rose gold is. But and I have a. If you ever seen, if you ever heard of Rene Ritchie on iMore and his fetish of all these bands, I've caught it. I've got so many bands. I got Milanese. I have a classic buckle. I have the nylon. I have a two different bracelets. So yeah, but I tell you, this one really is really worth it, and um, it just head and shoulders better. And I don't like to walk around, and I like to kind of see track where I've been, and I don't want to carry my phone because when I'm out there, I don't want to be bothered by a phone call.
Yeah, well, I carry my phone only because I had a good friend have a unexpected heart attack,
Oh yes,
and it was aspirin in his phone that kept him alive long enough to get to the ER room. And some of the trails I go on, while they're not off in the wilderness, if something were to
yeah,
happen, that phone's the only way I could get any kind of help in a reasonable amount of time,
yeah.
assuming I'm awake enough to do it.
Now,
But
now again with this, with the Watch 3, if you do have your phone by you, if you fall and it detects, the motion of you falling,
yeah,
it automatically dials 911 and sends out a SOS,
sweet.
and it will give you the location because
Although,
it
given
of
how
everything.
clumsy I am, that might not be a good thing sometimes.
But also the other thing I found, the Wi-Fi in here works a lot better. The
That's interesting.
Because the other one, the Wi-Fi never really worked right. And I'm walking, and like today, I was walking not too far from my apartment, and I still looked and said, "Wait, I don't have my Bluetooth on. I don't see it." And I saw the cloud, and I was getting all my notifications. Like I was,
Yeah,
said, "Oh, it saw the Wi-Fi, and it's actually sending the
yeah.
notifications out."
Surprise, surprise. Well, let's move on a bit. So, one of the things that got me overly excited as a geek in the last couple of weeks was the release of the new Google photo scanning app. Now, have you had a chance to try that?
Yes, I'm still trying to learn it.
So, I've this has become like a favorite app of mine in the last couple of weeks because I've got a boatload. I was going to use another word, but I got a boatload of snaps that both I got from my dad, years ago, and snaps I've taken, and they're all prints. That's what I'm talking about, snaps.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, I have the negatives. Many cases, I don't. You know, back in the '60s, people would take their picture, they'd get their photograph, and the negatives would just disappear. So all you got is the print. In the
Mm-hmm.
case of my dad's prints, I got prints from 1952, 54, 55. God knows where the negatives are now. He was in the military at the time, and I'm lucky to have the prints. And it's always been kind of a desire to get these scanned. And I've tried a couple times to scan them. And I've even taken pictures with my phone. But the tricky thing about a print is when you have a print, you're reflecting light off a glossy or semi-glossy surface, and it's really susceptible to glare. So I can hold my phone like this, and I can take the picture of the print here, but if I don't get the lighting just right, it's glary and it's really hard to do. But the concept's good, and I actually was looking at making a copy stand with some lights. In fact, we've had some discussions on our group about this. When all of a sudden Google released this app, and they called it the Google Photo Scanner, and I'm kind of going, yeah, right, okay. Google says a lot. Sometimes they promise, and sometimes it's not much. But I went ahead and tried the app, and the way it works is you load it on your phone, and it shows you a box on the screen, and you center up your picture on the box, and you take a picture, and then what it does, it shows four dots, one in each corner, and you move the phone to the dot, You don't touch it. You just move the phone to the dot. It takes another picture, another picture, another picture, another picture. Sometimes it'll use flash to get rid of the glare, and then it blends it all together, and you got this magically done picture, a scan, quote unquote, that has no glare on it, that's evenly exposed, and surprisingly pretty damn good resolution, all things considered. My only complaint about the app so far is it kills the battery. And when I'm using it, you can actually feel the phone get hot. So it's a heavy draw on the processor. But I want to see if I can share out my screen here. Let's do this. All right, so let me see if I can make this full size here. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So what we see here is this is a screenshot of the app, and I've got a snapshot on, you're going to love this. This is a lamp by the side of my bed. I mean, I gave it like the most extreme case I could figure out. I literally put the snapshot by my bed with one lamp and took pictures just to see if I could break this app. And this is what it looked like as I was taking the shot. That's what I ended up with.
Wow.
I mean, I was blown away. The only thing I did this app or to this image afterwards is it had a little bit of a sepia tint to it from the age of the picture, and I got rid of that in iPhoto or whatever they call it, photo now. But this is a handheld scan / picture taken on my iPhone using a single lamp by my bed.
That's impressive.
I mean,
I really don't have any photos that I here. I'm just gonna try it over Thanksgiving because Mother has a bunch of photos and she would like to find a way to to really digitize them, and I'm gonna try that out on some of these photos that we have.
So here's another I did, and this is another extreme case, and this is actually I wanted to see what I could do with the iPhone after I took the picture. So I took the same thing. I used the Google Photo Scan app with this. The picture aged badly. You can see it's got, I don't know, something splattered on it. The fixer wasn't done right when they developed the print, and it's turning that nice yellow tint that vintage 70 prints like to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I took it, and typically I would load it into Photoshop. And I'm going, well, I got this really nifty smartphone here called an iPhone, and I got Snapseed. So I went ahead and loaded it in Snapseed, and voila.
Wow.
I used Snapseed to color correct, and I also used Snapseed to get rid of all this black crap that you see. I don't know what the hell it is on the print, but I just used my fingertip, and I got a couple more spots to take care of, like here and here. But you can see the hood, the driveway, all of that's cleaned up with using nothing more than Snapseed on my phone.
That's
I mean,
neat.
that's a killer deal. I mean, the app's free. Again, this was another handheld. I did this on the kitchen table with the overhead light. I didn't put a lot of work into it, and whammo. You know, this is an unretouched picture here. This is one I took from my dad. There is absolutely no retouch on this picture. This is what Snapseed or the Google app did for me. You know, and these are all, so the black and whites are all 1952 to 1955. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, I mean, these prints to me are invaluable, but they're so small to scan, they're a pain in the butt because I've done a few of them. Whereas on my phone, and I've got my phone set where when I do a picture, it goes up to Google Drive automatically. It goes up to iCloud automatically, and when I sync my phone to my desktop, it goes up to Dropbox automatically. So not only do I have a way to get my pictures taken pretty rapidly, but I've got them immediately saved out to 3 different places in the cloud along with being on the phone. So I've got my picture, I've got my digitized picture, and I've got 3 sets of redundancy without really having to put a lot of work into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you care about my baked potato, but that particular app has just impressed the hell out of me for being free and how well it works.
I've been playing around. Of course, I have the 7 Plus with
Yes, you do. I
the
hate you.
dual with the dual cameras. I've been playing around with the new beta of 10.2 that has the bokeh, the full bokeh.
Ah, and
I like it. It's
Mikey likes everything.
well, certain things. No, I don't think I have anything in my.
Do you have any demos that you can show us, or?
I think there should be one in the group in our photo group somewhere. That let me see if I can't.
Well, while you're doing that, um, another thing that you brought up, Mike, that I'm going to share with everybody is the absolute stupidity of Apple. I can't say it's wrong enough about them taking away MagSafe on the new laptop.
Oh, tell me about it.
You know, Mike was relating a story where he had a mishap with his new MacBook Pro, which doesn't have MagSafe anymore, and wiped out the ports because someone tripped over the cord. I mean, for anyone with a laptop, MagSafe has been a godsend. I can't tell you how many times I've had that cord pop out from me or from other people. I mean, that's why they're called accidents, because shit happens. And to use a USB port now for your power is just absolute stupidity. Um, I'm beyond words. Now, in in the spirit of the new Apple, where everything now is a dongle or an adapter you have to buy, um, there is an adapter that you can buy. It costs you $30 that will give you kind of sort of MagSafe. It's from Griffin. It's called BreakSafe. And while let me see if I can bring this up. I think it's a good idea. My only
Mm-hmm.
concern, and you can maybe address this, Mike, is the fact that it still plugs into the USB port. So I have a feeling the design is going to be a balance between the amount of force it takes to break the USB versus the amount of force it takes to pop the mag lock. And you still want the mag lock to be fairly stable. You want it to stay stuck pretty well and not just randomly fall off. But if you have it stuck too well, it's going to break the USB, which is defeating the whole purpose.
It it's I've got it. It came in
Okay.
yesterday, and it's just like the MagSafe.
So there's the actual cable. And you
It
can see the adapter. It's a little clunky, but it's
mm-hmm.
there. I mean, it doesn't look bad.
And it comes off. Comes off just like the MagSafe, real easy.
You don't think it's going to pull against that USB connector?
No, because it's not that heavy. One,
Okay.
two. It's not any different than um the way I've had all this because, all right, I had that MagSafe 1 to MagSafe 2 adapter,
Yeah, I've got the same thing.
and it same thing. It doesn't put that much pressure on, and
Okay.
it doesn't come loose.
Well, I can honestly say um, this may not be a smartphone specific trick, but many of us run Apples with our smartphones. And, you know, if you're going to invest in a brand new MacBook Pro, then I can't help but recommend spending $30 on this before you trash your USB port by mistake.
Because, all right, the new MacBook Pros. Now, if you get the one without the touch bar, the
Right.
drive is not soldered in. It's the same PCIe drive, and you can replace it.
Nice. Good to know.
But but on
There's always
the
a but.
but on the MacBook Pro with the touch bar,
Yep.
everything is soldered in.
Yeah, that just really
Everything,
pisses me off.
including the drive. And they do have a tool that will get information off your drive. But sometimes if that port gets the drive, and they said that, well, one, this Apple Store didn't have it yet. So they weren't able to get anything off. And he said, I don't think we could have anyway, because uh when the thing snapped, it shorted out the controllers for the US.
Oh, Ouch.
That's why I lost every one of my USBs.
Oh man. That would
Okay, here
suck.
we go. This is the faux bokeh.
Okay.
You can see how everything in the background is
Blurred.
has that blurred. All right.
So you're telling me that,
Oh, excuse me. There it is. There's the faux.
okay.
See how blurred it is? That's the faux. That's the bokeh.
Boy, that's a lot of blur.
And then there's the as you know before it does.
Now, can you adjust how much blur you get?
No, unfortunately, Apple
That's
Apple with their wisdom. Because if you notice, all right, look at the number boards on this.
yeah.
One side, you see how blurry it is,
Yeah. The other one's sort of in focus.
and see how much cleaner that one is.
Yeah.
That's one of the little problems with it. It will blur out, and if you notice, the running boards on both sides are kind of blurry,
Yeah.
and it does the same thing to a face. It will it kind of recognizes it will recognize a face, but sometimes if there's a lot of stuff behind it, it may not work just right. But it's not bad.
Yeah. Well, I've played with some third-party apps that do the same thing, and they allow me to actually highlight and mask off what I want blurred. Um, I've got an idea that this is Apple's first gen, and
Mm-hmm.
they're kind of playing, if you will. You're using
Every right now when
you and
that
I as beta
yeah.
testers.
Well, this what this is there. I do have the beta on the phone, and each beta they have made the portrait. That's what they call it, portrait mode, a lot better. It's getting better before it's and it should be released to everybody before too long. But
Yeah, I would think so.
but it's strictly for the I unfortunately it's the portrait strictly for the 7 Plus with the
Yeah,
dual.
yeah.
What
I looked into that.
it does, it uses both cameras for the blurring bit.
Yeah, well, I still got my 5S. I haven't made the jump yet. I don't know if I'll make the jump to the 7 or if I'm going to wait for the 8 and see what happens, or just say kiss it all off and go to Android. Although after hearing about the lovely Android hack that took out a bunch of third-party stores, I'm not so sure about Android right now.
Yeah, and the uh I think now if you're running like the Pixel or Pixel XL, you're kind of safe. The hack hit everything below see nougat is fine, and
It
the
was
one
ice
right
cream. Ice cream got hit, and something else.
lollipop.
Lollipop. Yeah, it sounded like
Okay,
some of the older
yeah, it hit the
releases.
old. I think what was the one right before marshmallow? Marshmallow. If you're on marshmallow, you're fine.
Okay.
If you're on nougat, you're fine. But from I think Kit Kat down.
All right. Now I want to share this. This is another what's become a real favorite app of mine. Um, so this was a beach scene I shot at Pismo Beach, and I ran it through Snapseed, which is my normal, go-to app, black and white. And then I dropped it into Prisma, and I think this was Wave filter,
Mm-hmm.
and I really, really like how this one turned out. It's got that abstract painterly effect, and a lot of times Prisma looks kind of cheesy, but every now and then the app and filter can really crank out some pretty amazing stuff. And I would suggest to anybody just to play with the app. If you got a picture that you like, just boot up the app and start running through the filters and see what happens. And don't think that you have to do only Prisma. Like I said, I actually converted this to black and white first, then ran it through Prisma, which picked up all the blue tones, which is kind of what I was hoping for. Um, so don't get locked into the idea. Well, I've got my raw picture and then I've got Prisma. Well, no, you can do quite a bit in between and just kind of goof around.
Mm-hmm.
And what's cool about this is my wife was actually driving the car while I'm doing this because it was my turn to take a break. And what am I going to do staring out the window? But I'm going to play with my iPhone and take pictures.
I hear you.
So that's
Yeah.
what I ended up with, you know.
I'll tell you another thing I found, except for the Microsoft Pick, which I think they understand their next one update is actually going to be able to take effect of both cameras. All of the third party apps, but Microsoft Pick will actually use both cameras. You can do the touch that has the thing from camera one from 1 and 2, and it does work really good. I tell you, I'm very impressed with these.
Okay. Do you do any kind of video editing on your phone?
If I unless I take a video for it, because most of my stuff kind of what I normally my big videos, the phone won't handle.
Yeah.
You need you need at least a 4K desktop computer that can do it.
So I actually had an interesting quest the other day, and that is I took a video of the new Soaring ride. Shh, don't tell Disney. And they have done something where it looks fine when you watch it, but when you record it, the light level's incredibly low. So they've done something interesting with the screen. So I had this recording that was kind of dim, and I went shopping around looking for an app that would actually let me color grade and change the exposure of the video clip, which is about 4 minutes in length. And it turns out the iMovie app won't do that anymore. It used to, but it won't do it anymore. So that kind of pissed me off. And I go poking around, and what I ended up with was an app called Filmmaker Pro.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
And I gotta say, so I can show you a screen, maybe two screens from this. I was actually going to write something up about it later. Let's see here. So that's what the basic editing screen looks like. It's linear editing.
Mm-hmm.
And what's cool about it is you can edit and play pretty rapidly. And it's not till you tell it to render that it takes a while, as you can imagine.
Oh yeah.
But I was able to color grade this and apply exposure settings to it and contrast settings all within about 10 minutes, and then render it and basically walk away for about 20 minutes while it rendered. Uh, it really kind of works the phone kind of hard. But in the end, I got a high quality video output of this thing. Um, the one thing I will complain about is it is supposed to allow me to send an email with a link to iCloud where the rendered file lives for 30 days. And that did not work.
Mm.
I tried it twice, and both times I ended up with a link, but no file that would actually work, 0 byte file. So I don't know what the problem there is. But once I rendered it to my phone, I could send it to YouTube just fine, which I did. But for you know, if you need to do something more than just adding a stupid graphic or just trim a file, this is a good app to look at. If you're really looking at changing up how the video works, how to change the color, how to change the exposure, play with the contrast, and you can apply these selectively. And they've also got a library of filters that you can apply to the entire clip or to what you're clipping out, which is kind of cool. They've got several looks that you can use. And the app was like $6. It's a little pricier in some of my apps, but it did the trick for what I wanted, and it's a good solid app to keep in your back pocket as a go-to heavy lifting
Oh,
video app.
sounds cool. Cause I know iMovie's had a lot. People are complaining about the iMovie on iOS thing that's not that
It
great
sucks.
anymore.
It absolutely sucks. I used to use it for a lot, and I can't use it anymore because it doesn't do anything anymore.
Uh,
Oops, I'm trying to find the film, not FileMaker. Damn you, Google. Oh, let's see here. I'll have to look it up later and add it to the show notes at the end of this. I can find it in iTunes, but I don't have iTunes open right now. Anyways, so have you found any treasures yourself?
Uh, I've been trying different camera apps and of course a lot of other little stuff on here, but I'm uh still trying to learn everything on this phone because it does so much now.
Yeah. Well, I actually bit the bullet, kind of goofing around. Let's see if I can show you this. So, yeah, it's not doing it. There we go. Yeah, hard to see. What I've done, I moved my entire desktop from my Mac into iCloud, and now I can actually get to it on my phone,
Oh, cool.
which is kind of handy. And I gotta say, I'm getting used to it. It's a little unsettling watching my entire desktop disappear, but you can click on it and bring it back and use it on the Mac, and then I've got it on my phone, which is pretty sweet because I tend to use some folders on my desktop as kind of like a work folder, you know. So I mean, I'm still not a fan of iCloud, but I'm getting there. I wish it was more friendly.
I've always been nervous with iCloud because I've been burned a couple of times by something not working right and losing stuff. So
I haven't lost anything yet.
I have once. So
Yeah.
but just like I said, like with the new MacBook Pro, it took once to say, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not too sure about this.
I mean, I've had issues. I mean, I had my Mac crash and burn on me where I had to recreate my user account. So again, crap happens.
Oh yeah, it does. I've had too many. As I said, I've had some a lot of different things on iCloud that just disappeared, and I said, okay, well, I always keep a backup. I'm just always so nervous trying to put stuff up there, and if I use a lot of times when I'm all out and about, and I don't have I'm in an area where I don't have any connectivity.
Right.
I cannot say, "Ooh, that's right, that folder's in the cloud." Guess what? No internet.
Yeah. Here's the I did have a picture of that of the user interface for that. Here, let's do this. Bingo. There we go. Let me go full size on this. There you go. So that's the Filmmaker Pro interface. And you can see you got a tremendous number of options to play with. In this particular case, I was rendering, which is what the 12% is all about. But you've got you've got trimming, you've got contrast, you've got all kinds of good stuff. And I love the reset button because as you start goofing around and you realize you've just made a mistake, you can actually hit a reset and just restart the whole process. You don't lose where you're at, but you do lose all the settings that you've played with. But you can also adjust your music right here. You can add stills to it. You can draw on it, and you can add text. It's hard to argue with the app for the price. So.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to think. There's something I put new on here, and I don't remember what it is. I do, because I still use Lightroom a lot, really heavily on the phone.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, so do I. But I'm always shopping for something a little different.
But
I'm not quite an app junkie like I am a font junkie, but we're getting there. All right. Well, it's 7:00 my time, so that's what 9:00 your time.
Yeah, a little after 9. It's 9:07.
Yeah. Let's wrap this and see if we can't get back on the track of maybe a bi-weekly meeting. I'm not sure I can do weekly yet. We'll see how the schedule settles out. But I am going to try to get it back on track for a bi-weekly event. And maybe we'll do another challenge. The last couple challenges, we didn't get hardly any participation.
Yeah,
which was kind of disappointing.
Last couple of them were, I couldn't get into it because we had holidays. I was sick, and we've had a lot of bad weather, and I was dealing with
I
that.
get it. I get it. I mean, we've had, I've got 3 girls all in soccer, 2 in playing club. So my weekends have been pretty non-existent for the last almost 4 months, and we've taken a break from that until January. So catch my breath and see what we're going to do next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyways, why don't you go ahead and tell us where we can find you at, and where you hang in social media, and give a shout out to anyone you want.
Okay. Well, I can be found at anywhere Flickr, anywhere. It's Michael King 4023 or just Michael King. And of course, the third Saturday of the month, I'm at the Houston area Apple Users Group meeting, which is over off Bel Air Boulevard on Bel Air and Rice at this Bel Air Civic Center, which will be losing real soon because they are in the process of rebuilding everything. And where we're meeting, they're going to our meeting room is going to be used for the police station and the jail because they're tearing down the original, the old police station and the old jail, and they're rebuilding. And then they're going to, once they get that in, they'll move in and tear down our building, and we should get back in. But we're going to be at the center point area, which is right above this pool, which is not bad.
Cool. All right. Well, you can find me in www.msmedia.me, although that site's kind of dying. But you can also find me at smartphonegeek.info. That site we're bringing to life slowly but surely, adding content to it. And you can find me, on Facebook under Michael Sweeney Photography, Flickr, all those good places. Obviously, you can find me here in Google, but I'm around. And I just want to, thank the folks of our community for kind of putting up with the lack of me and being around for the last month or so. But we'll see if we can't get things back on track. And we hope to hear from you soon. And when we put up our contest, please participate. It really helps to see people sharing their photos and commenting and telling us what they like and what they don't like. And I think everybody likes the feedback as long as we keep it civil. So thanks a lot, and we'll see y'all later.